I'd like to introduce the materials that I'm going to use for this project. I'm going to start with the Sweet Poppy Heart Mandala stencil. And I have a piece of magnetic sheet here to hold my stencil. I'm going to be working with a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square sheet of multifarious paper. I have Distress Oxides in Spun Sugar, Dried Marigold, and Evergreen Bough with the number 4 blender brushes. I'm going to use a Sweet Poppy stencil spreader. This is a Nouveau craft spoon with 2 uniquely shaped spoon heads. Sweet Poppy stencil dimensions in translucent. This is the paste. Clear glass microbeads. My Sweet Poppy stencil low tack tape. Some type of pan, could be a little baking sheet or something, to catch the beads when we use them. And nearby, I have a pan of water because I won't have time to clean the stencil when I'm done. So I'm going to put it in here to keep the paste wet until I'm ready to wash off my stencil. When I wash off the stencil, I usually do it with an old toothbrush and not my hands, because some of these edges tend to be very sharp. You don't want to bend the stencil, and you certainly don't want to cut yourself. I've prepared my project by placing the multifarious cardstock onto the magnetic sheet, topping it off with the stencil I was using. The stencil sticks to the magnet, holding the paper in place. Then I've used the low tack tape to tape everything down just to make sure there's no movement, and also to keep the edges of the cardstock clean. Using my 3 Distress Oxide inks, Spun Sugar, Dried Marigold, and Evergreen Bough, and my 3 blending brushes, I started to lie down the colors, starting with the middle and working out toward the edges. Before I proceed any further on the project, I'm going to lift the stencil and use a baby wipe to quickly wipe off the ink on the surface of the stencil. I'm now going to replace the stencil, taking care to line it up exactly as it was before. Tape down the edges to keep the paper clean. It's now time to come in with Sweet Poppy stencil dimension paste in translucent, which will dry clear. With my spoon, I will generously apply the paste to the top solid part of my stencil. Then, using my spatula, held at a 45-degree angle to the stencil, I will drag down the paste. If this process didn't cover the entire design, I go in and touch up those areas to ensure my design is evenly covered in the paste. After removing the tape, I peel off the stencil in one fell swoop. Then I pop the stencil and tools into my pan of water to keep everything wet till I have a chance to wash them after I've finished my project. Applying the microbeads is very similar to applying glitter. I'm going to hold my card over some type of pan to catch the beads. I'm simply going to pour the beads over the design. They will stick to the paste. And then I'm going to tap off the excess, and the excess will be returned to the bottle. My design will sit there till it's completely dried, at which time the colors will show through beautifully. When the project dries, you see the brilliant color, how it shimmers, and the beautiful texture it has. This is a quick and easy way to change up your style. If you've enjoyed our video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. List of products used in this video can be found below the video, and most will have a link to take you to the product. If you haven't already done so, I hope you'll subscribe to our Facebook groups shown here, where you can find inspiration as well as showcase your own work. Have a great crafting day.